Risa, hindi kayang magbayad yan ng, hindi kayang magsuhod yan ng witness, di ba? Ganun yung damit, yun ang problema, yung damit, ganun ang sinasabi. Yung ayos ng mukha, talagang parang Maria Clara. Pero pagka ano na lang, pagka ika nga sarado ng opisina niya, kasama niya na yung witness sa loob ng opisina niya, hindi na natin alam kung ano pinag-uusapan niya. Pero dito, itong Ali na to, mapanganib po ito mga kababayan. Yung painhin-inhin na yan, yung parang mga Maria Clara, anak ng toka, pagka sinara na opisina, at kasama niya itong si, anong pangalan nun, si Boy Llamas, si Yari. Ika nga, maghahalong pala si... Paininin ka, madam, ha? Ano ka ngayon, ha? Maria Clara datingan mo, ha? Nung pinuposisyon kang pinapakita ka, pinuportray ka na maging Senate presidential candidate, ang tapang mo. May paganyan-ganyan ka pa sa mesa. Nakita nyo yung mga larawan na yon? Ngayon, para kang basang tupa. Basang sisiw. Ito, panoorin ho natin mga kababayan. Oh, game. Latest ho ito, latest.
Okay.
Ano yun? Ano yun? Para saan yun? Para sa... Hoy, kayo dyan sa ano ha? Dyan sa Fresco na. Parang inaaway nyo ata itong si Senator. Oh, wag nyong ganunin. Kayo naman, oo. Oh.
Okay.
Talagang kinlose po. Oh. Wag ganon, wag yun na ganyan ni Risa. Oh, nagpapa-interview na siya sa inyo, wag yun na lokohin. O sige, pakinggan natin ang sasabihin niya, pero facial expression pa lang niya, sinasabi na lahat ng gustong marinig natin. Pananakot, hindi na, ano yun takot ano ang mangyayari dito, sindakan, kung sino bang mas ma-impluensya. Siyempre, NBI, kayo naman dyan, oo. Sitting senator, pagbibintangan na nagbayad ng 1 milyon para magsalita ng kasinungalingan sa Senado. Pinagbibintangan, di ko sinasabing totoong nagbayad o kung ano pa man. Nandito tayo para kilatisin ang mga sasabihin nitong Ali na to. Mapatotoo, mapahindi. Hindi natin malalaman yan. Tanging si Salamat Kaayo NBI lang ang makakapagsabi dyan. Okay? Game.
Alright, go.
Pa-virgin ang datingan mo naman. Anak ng toko, ibang klase talaga. Pero in fairness kung sino man ang gumagayak dito kay Risa Hontiveros, bilib ako sa inyo. Alam nyong iayon ang forma diyan sa kasuotan niya. Ngayon, kailangan pagmukain natin siyang kawawa.
First po, naman natin. Yung DBS na,
sige, Asher.
Sino po yung mga kinasuhan? Sinama po natin sa
Patango po.
Una, nandito ako ngayong umaga, gaya ng sinabi kong gagawin.
Alam mo, bakit nandiyan ka? Gumawa ka ng problema mo. Ang dami mong pwedeng pag-usapan, presyo ng kuryente, mahal na presyo ng pangunahing bilihin, sweldo ng mga manggagawa, ano pa, kriminalidad, droga. Ang pinag-usapan, ang ginawa mong takpak sa yung kay Pastor Kibuloy. Ang tinutino ng organisasyon nila, lumaki. Sa dami ng kongregasyon, 1, 2 nagreklamo. Yung isa, inaakusahan ka pa na binayaran din daw siya. Labo, di ba?
Gawin ng Lunes, kasama sina Attorney Britannico at yung kanilang firm para maghain ng reklamo sa National Bureau of Investigation. Pangunahing layunin ng reklamo, alamin sino ang nasa likod ng pag-produce ng video, 2 video na ni Michael Maurilio. Dahil hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin umaamin, wala pa rin nag-aangkin. At pangalawa,
natural, madam, walang aamin dyan, walang aangkin yan. Ay, meron na palang umamin, meron ng umangkin. Meron ng inangkin itong si Elias Maurilio, walang nag-utos sa akin. Sarili ko po ito. Inangkin ni Elias Maurilio. Ay, itong si Elias Rene. Pambihira, oo.
Para imbestigahan din sa pamamagitan ng reklamo ito, yung mga vlogger na pinamumudmod at dinadagdagan pa ang mga kasinungalingang nakalagay sa mga video ni Michael Maurilio. Kabilang po dyan sina Crisette Chu, Jay Sonza, Sas Sasot, Trixie Cruz Angeles, Banat Bay at iba pa. So abangan po natin ang progress nitong investigasyon. Unang hakbang pa lang ito.
Nako, tinatakot niya. Nag-name drop siya. Nag-name drop si Madam. Hinihintay ko pa PH update. Hindi naman kasi tayo nagdadagdag eh. Nagkaan lang tayo, kumbaga, pinapakinggan lang natin dito. O, halimbawa yan, pinapakinggan natin sinasabi mo, Madam. Uy, Madam, huwag kang magalit ha. Kumbaga, dito kami ang pinaka-fair na ika nga vlogger dito sa Pilipinas. Bakit? Kinukuha ho namin ang inyong panig. Ipinapalabas ho namin ang inyong panig sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Yun nga lang, meron kami mga side comment. Kaya ng buhok mo, damit mo, kung paano ka presenta ng grupo mo sa publiko. Mainhin. Nang kakaso, mainhin eh, no? Nakananto ka. Believe talaga ako dito sa ali na to.
Aalamin po namin at sa payon ng aking mga abogado kung sino pa ang dapat kasuhan at ano-ano pa ang dapat ikaso sa kanila.
Initially, Senator, ang pinali niyo po ay perjury po ba o meron pa sa libel?
Batay sa payo ng aking mga abogado, cyber libel ang appropriate na ireklamo dito. Sabihin ko po sa inyo, bilang isang nagtatrabaho sa public service, bukas ako lagi at dapat lang bukas lagi sa mga puna, sa mga kritisismo. Pero hindi ako papayag sa ganitong mga pagsisinungaling, mga mapapanganib na pagsisinungaling, lalo na ang tinarget ay hindi lang ako, ang tinarget ay ang mga witnesses, ang tinarget pati mga staff ko, tinarget ang Senado mismo.
Ayun. Hindi Senado, hindi Madam. Hindi tinuturo ang Senado naman sa mga di umanong nagbayad. Ang sinasabi doon sa video na napanood namin yung chief of staff mo nakaladkad ang pangalan. Kayo daw ho ang nakaladkad ang pangalan. Ngayon, ang problema dito, imbis na sagutin nyo lang yung aligasyon sa inyo, latagan nyo kami ng kapani-paniwalang resibo. Ang nangyayari ho kasi dito, nakakaroon na ho na sindakan at takutan. Diba? Takutan na ho ito. Sa mga vlogger, huwag nyo nang pag-usapan itong issue ni Risa dahil, naku, masusunod ho kayo niya sa NBI.
Senator, ilan lang yung reklamo niyo?
Sir?
Ilan po ang reklamo niyo?
So far, 1 dosena. Pero bate nga sa mapag-aalaman ng NBI sa kanilang investigasyon, maaring dumami pa po yun at maaring dumami pa dagdag sa cyber libel ang iaakusa ko sa kanila.
Yung inyo po mga binanggit na pangalan, Senator, sila po ay kasama po sa kaso.
Kasama na po sila dito sa reklamong inihain namin ngayong umaga.
Pagpupuas ba tayo ng Senate inquiry on them? Diba parang profilation of fake news na naman to?
Nasimulan na yan ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan nung nakaraang 18th Congress pa. At bukas naman sa kabubukas na 20th Congress na ulit o patuloy itong investigahan. Pero ngayong umaga, dito po kami ng firm ni na Attorney Britannico nakatutok sa reklamo sa NBI. At gaya ng nabanggit ko, unang hakbang pa lang ito, nasabi ko na po nung Lunes, maghahain din po ako ng mga criminal complaints laban sa mga tao o grupong ito. Lalo na, pag mas napag-alaman na ng NBI, sino talaga ang nasa likod ng pag-produce at pagmudmod ng kasinungalingang video na ito.
Sir, meron na po ba kayong naging information, update about dito sa whereabouts ni Michael Maurilio?
Wala pa ring firm updates about that dahil pagkatapos nung kanyang mga huling mensahe sa opisina ko noon lamang June 22 at 23 nitong 2025. Imagine, just a little more than a week ago, naghuhumingi ng rescue dahil siya daw ay kinidnap ng KOGC at siya daw ay dun dinadakip sa Glory Mountain. Hanggang ngayon at nung forward namin agad sa PNP yung mga messages na iyon at agad din nilang kinikilusan. Kaya lang, habang kinikilusan na yung kanyang mga mensahe noon, ay lumabas na itong video. Take note din pala, no, yung nirereklamo kong, pinaiimbestigang fake news channel nagngangalang Pagtanggol Valiente. Bagong-bago po yan. Binuo lamang nung June 24, the day after nung mga huling mensahe ni Michael Maurilio. So, hiniling ko sa NBI ngayon alamin sino ba yung Pagtanggol Valiente na yan, sinong mga tao, sinong grupo, at dahil baka o malamang konektado yan dun sa cry for help nung earlier last month ni Michael Maurilio.
Nako, kasi nagsalita ho itong si kasi kung halimbawa tinakot niyang si alias rin itong si Michael Maurilio, hindi ko dapat siya umabot dito sa dalawang video na to na magsalita. Siguro doon sa isang video merong nakatutok sa kanya hanger o pagka di ka nagsalita papaluhin kita, di ba? Kaso wala naman hong ganun wala namang hong hanger na di ba? Yun ang problema ho dito mga kababayan. Wala akong kumbaga siya yung tipong parang yung dating sa akin dun sa video, kusang loob na nagsasalita yung mama. O, tuloy. Sir Risa.
Daming pa rin ako para sa kanyang kaligtasan. Sana matukoy kaagad ng PNP Davao kung nasan siya at mailigtas. Pero gayong paman, kailangan na niyang magpaliwanag at managot kung bakit siya nagsisinungaling sa mga video na ito.
Sen, do you believe in the theory na maaaring yun nga kinidnap po si Michael Maurilio? His statement was not on his own volition at siya po ay in grave danger?
Kung kinidnap talaga si Michael Maurilio at dahil doon ay kung nasa matinding panganib siya ngayon, all the more sana ay mapasakamay na siya ng PNP para sa mailigtas sa anumang panganib na maaring pinaglalagyan niya. At para din, pwede siyang maimbestiga ng NBI batay dito sa reklamo ko at maging bahagi siya ng pagbuo ng kwento. Sino ba ang nasa likod nitong kampanyang ito ng pagsisinungaling, fake news, witness tampering, at saka psychological warfare?
Okay. Isa na lang. Sir, do you think it's also appropriate that the government or Senate on their part gumawa po ng action para ma-rescue nga po ito kasi parang life is in danger?
Well, ang Senado, dahil kami po ay legislative body, hindi po namin mandato o kakayahan mag-rescue ng mga kababayan nating nasa panganib. Kaya nga po yung mga huling mensahe yon ni Michael Maurilio sa PNP Davao namin agad ibinigay para kanilang maaksyonan. At hanggang ngayon, inaasahan kong maaaksyonan nila ang sitwasyon, kung ano man yon ni Michael Maurilio, at para mas mapalalim pa yung hiniling kong investigasyon ng NBI sa reklamong ito.
Thank you.
Salamat po.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, yun po ang pinaka-latest kaugnay dyan sa paglantad na yan itong si alias Rene, no? Dito naman ho tayo kay kay tawag dito kay Ma'am Pinky Webb at dito kay Leila de Lima.
She vows to continue to stand up for justice. Let's get on point with ML Party List Representative Laila de Lima. Good evening. I have to get used to saying Congresswoman.
I'm also not used to it.
Kasi senator pa rin ang...
Senator! Isang beses nung naging senator, I'm not used to it. Kala mo talagang no?
Pagkaalala natin sa'yo.
Alangan pa ako na tinatawag as representative. So good evening, Pinky.
Congresswoman, good to see you.
Good
What
evening,
an honor and
Pinky.
pleasure to be here in your program, On Point.
Thank you.
I like the title of your program, On
And that's
Point.
what we're going to...
Ang labo lang ho noong nitong press con na to ni Risa Hontiveros. Ikaw gumawa ng problema. Noong lumabas yung testigo, pinag-usapan sa social media, hindi nga lang sa social media, pati sa mainstream media. Ngayon, yung mga taong pinaksa yung linabas na video, pinagkakasuhan mo. Pambihira.
to do right now because again you were acquitted by Judge Alcantara, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken,
the trial
Abraham
court
Alcantara
judge,
ho ba?
yes.
Of Muntinlupa RTC, and basically citing reasonable doubt dito sa drug charge against you, which he already acquitted you in the past. Just for context siguro, so there's a better understanding, Congresswoman, the CA, the Court of Appeals, hindi ho ba, voided the
Yes.
decision of acquittal by Judge Alcantara to you
Yeah.
and said, please rewrite your decision.
Essentially.
Bakit ho humantong doon? So maybe you can explain.
Of course, we also cannot understand that. It was perplexing to us that the disposition on the part of the Court of Appeals. In the first place, the very fact that the petition as filed by the Office of the Solicitor General was not dismissed outright was already questionable because it was violative of the constitutional prescription against double jeopardy. We do not see any applicable exception. Okay, because the rule on double jeopardy is not really an inflexible rule that it would not admit of exceptions. We agree that it has exceptions, that when you are acquitted, you're not supposed to question that anymore. It's final, unappealable. That is the general rule. Now, it admits of very restrictive restrictions. Kailangan mayroong yung sham trial, mistrial, violation of the right of due process on the part of the prosecution. How can there be a violation of due process when they were able to present evidence and nagkaroon pa nga ng rebuttal? And then also grave abuse of discretion in exceptional circumstances. So none of these four recognized exceptions under jurisprudence is applicable in our case. And yet, the Court of Appeals accepted the petition, ruled in it by saying that, okay, the decision of the court
Yan o, yung pagsasalita na yan ang pilit na ginagaya nitong si pangalan nito, yung alis, yung isa sa mga prosecutor ni Bibi Sara. Kalimutan ko yung pangalan. Mamaya na lang. Si Luis Tro, yan ngayon.
May of 2023,
Ay,
which is the
doon yan.
judgment of acquittal, is null and void, and therefore we are remanding this to the court for the rewriting of the decision because it was saying that may mga kulang-kulang daw doon sa rationale, doon sa justification for acquittal. I've been asking around from legal practitioners, from law practitioners, whether they have encountered such a situation
I was
before.
going to ask you that.
No, it's unprecedented. I don't think it ever, because it never really said that the acquittal was wrong, that the acquittal was invalid, that it was not correct or it was not right for the court to acquit me from the charge. That's the second of the three cases filed against me. It only says that, okay, the decision does not seem to comply with the requirements of the Constitution on what should be stated in a decision of a court of law. So, binalik. And then the trial court judge willingly accepted it. But you see, in his decision, released only last Friday, June 27, it stood firm. It says that my earlier decision was already sufficient. But out of respect, deference to the Court of Appeals, I'm coming out with this modified decision just to satisfy the Court of Appeals.
So are you saying that Judge Alcantara, in acquitting you once again, did not answer some of the questions of the Court of Appeals, to which I remember the Court of Appeals asking that the decision of Judge Alcantara was merely based on the recantation of a witness, si Ragos po, now earlier testified against you, tapos sabi nga niya, pinwersa lang siya, and that the CA said that the judge did not specify other issues why Laila de Lima was not guilty.
Well, in the new decision rendered or issued last Friday, it already addressed the concerns of the Court of Appeals. Okay, it already explained, quoted the portions in the transcripts about the answers of Ragos in his recantation. And so the conclusion still that the recantation was valid because there was no showing at all that the recantation was influenced by any consideration like monetary, like coercion, like pressure, and whatever, ill motives. So no showing of that because he was
Voluntary.
Ragos, the key witness, really stood firm, stood his ground. He was subjected to hours of cross-examination by the prosecution. If I'm not mistaken, it took 3 hearings, several hours, 10 hours or more than 10 hours for cross-examination, trying to break his determination in his recantation. But he stood his ground. All the things that I said before, the previous testimony wherein I said that I delivered money on 2
Drug money.
occasions in my residence, 2 occasions, 5 million each. That's all false. So the prosecution, of course, was trying to break him. But you know that your recantation now is out of other consideration, but it's not. So it was not broken. It was not nullified. And the court said that the recantation was valid. And in our view, in my view, Judge Alcantara was saying, without the testimony of Mr. Ragos, because he is the key witness, there is no other evidence to show my link,
Your involvement.
my
yeah.
involvement in the illegal drug trade.
I think, Congresswoman, if I'm not mistaken, I recall that the establishing of drugs inside Bilibid was, rather, it
Yes.
was established.
Yes, it was established.
But it was not established, except through Ragos, your participation.
Yes.
Until Ragos recanted and said, pinwersa lang siya at pinilit lang siya.
Yes.
Okay. So that was the only link, kumbaga,
Correct.
of your personality there. All right. How did you, maybe, I guess, when you found out that the Court of Appeals voided that particular decision of Judge Alcantara, how did you feel at that time? I mean, wala na kayo na. You, obviously, you had finished 2021, tapos na yung kaso 2023, that was the case.
This is the 23.
And then
The last one is
2024.
2024.
Right, but in 2023, you were already out on bail, hindi ba?
November
Yeah.
2023 for the third case, for the remaining case.
For the 2024
Kasi yung
case,
first two
yeah.
cases, the first one dismissed in 2021, I also applied for bail there, but was never acted upon. And then the second case, this one, the acquittal by Judge Alcantara, I also applied for bail there, but it was also not acted upon. Now, in the third remaining case, nung tapos na yung dalawang case na yun, supposedly, including yung kay Judge Alcantara, the court granted my bail, granted bail in November 2023. That's why I was out on provisional, provisionally out on bail. November up to June 2024, when the third case was also finally dismissed. So I could say that I attained complete unmitigated freedom.
Yeah.
And here comes the Court of Appeals decision.
That's why I wanted to find out what was going through your head, you know, after being acquitted in 2024 with 3 cases already, that you had to hurdle a previous case that you were acquitted for.
Yeah.
Ano ho yung naging pakiramdam nyo? I mean, did that somehow, you know, bring back any ill feelings, pain?
Well, I was, of course, dismayed. First, I was surprised because even on the part of my legal team, we were confident that nothing would happen to that case, the petition for certiorari filed by the Office of the Solicitor General. So ang thinking talaga namin, madi-dismiss lang yan because it's clear, acquittal, it's acquittal. It's supposed to be final. And there, again, no applicable exception to that rule on double jeopardy. So we were confident. And then finally, eto nga, instead of dismissing it, because of that, the rule on double jeopardy, ay pinakialaman and then pinasauli dun sa trial court at pinasulat muli yung desisyon. So I was very dismayed. That's why I have to say that I've been vindicated multiple times. You know, those cases one by one, it was dismissed out of my way and then vindicated also because the truth has been coming out. You know, some of the witnesses have recanted or signified their intention to recant. And then the hearings before the Quad Committee, which shows who are the actually involved in the illegal drug trade. So I felt vindicated because that's what I've been saying all along. You know that with respect to the culpability of the Dutertes, also in the DDS killings and all that, because it originated, my case, my persecution originated in
When you were DOJ Secretary.
when I was CHR.
When you were CHR, rather, yeah.
Because
Nauna pa pala yun.
nauna pa, noong 2009 pa yung DDS, and then SOJ, and then Senate, especially sa Senate. Kaya nga ginawa yun sa akin. I was first ousted as the chairperson of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights when I started that investigation, and especially after I presented Mr. Edgar Matubato as a witness there. So the majority of my colleagues in the Senate ousted me. So, and then nagkaroon ng that, you remember that hearing in the House of Representatives, that kangaroo hearing, you know, the slut shaming and all that. Kulang na lang talaga itapon sa akin yung buong kitchen sink. And then that resulted in the filing later of those bogus charges. So, eto na naman. Bakit, you know, dumaan na nga, and I willingly subjected myself to the scrutiny of the courts. I did not escape. I did not evade justice. And I continued, even if it was difficult for me, I had to continue keeping my faith in the justice system. Because it is only within the justice system that I could be vindicated. Nowhere else. Ano ako pupunta? Mamumundok ba ako? Tatakas ba ako? I could have applied for asylum. I knew I had good basis for asylum, and unlike the other one has applied also for asylum there, over there at The Hague.
Attorney Harry Roque.
Yes. So I think if I applied for asylum, it would be granted because there was clear case. We could easily show that it was a case of political persecution because of my stance against the extrajudicial killing. So ito na naman, bakit hindi ako I hope this is the end of it.
Ba't di ka nag-asylum? Di ba bakit hindi ka nag-asylum, madam?
I was actually going to ask you that. Is there anything pending?
No more?
Because I was trying to read, I don't think there's anything pending among all
These
the...
cases, the drug cases, none, because there were only 3,
Yeah.
and all of them have been dismissed already.
You were in detention for, is it 2454 days? 2,454 days?
2,454 days.
2454
Yes, 6
days.
years, 8 months, and 21 days.
Congresswoman, is there anybody that you will have a hard time forgiving?
Yes, the principal, the foremost principal, my chief oppressor, no other than the former president.
Yun,
I've
siyempre.
been saying that.
Kaya pinagkakamalanggang crush mo si Tatay Digong eh. Di ba? Mag-move on na ho kayo, madam. Ha? Alam naman ho natin lahat ang dahilan kung bakit bakit binawi ng mga testigo yung mga aligasyon, yung mga sinabi nila laban sa inyo. Ano ho yun, maliwanag pa sa sikat ng araw. Base ho yan sa nangyari kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, yung panggigipit na nararanasan ng mga kalaban sa politika nitong administrasyon na to. Simple lang. Pagka nagkataon hindi mo sinunod ang kagustuhan ng kung sino man ang nag-uutos sa kanila para bawiin ang kanilang mga testimonya, may kalalagyan sila. Diba? Mantakay mo, self-confess, pinalaya. Umamin na ha, inamin na niya na gano'n ang kanyang trabaho itong si Kerwin Espinosa. Nakalaya pa. Ano pa ba yung, di ba, yung mga nagsabi lang na kesyo ganito, kesyo ganyan,
I've
di ba?
already forgiven the rest, all of them, including the former Secretary of Justice. I've forgiven him already. And all those who aided, those who acted as handlers of these witnesses, and especially those witnesses, every one of them, I've forgiven already, even though most of them did not ask for forgiveness. Only about 2 or 3 of them asked for forgiveness. But the president, the former president, not yet. I'm not ready to do that.
2,554
Not ready
days,
to do that.
2,454
454 days in detention. When you were out, I remember I was able to speak to you. You were on your way to Manawag, I think the day after, and you were actually being told, advised not to go for security purposes. Of course, those people have supported you, are very happy, enthusiastic that you had been acquitted. now it's a different chapter, you know, it's a moving on chapter.